Hi guys, it's JoJo here from Glitz and Glass and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do faux locks on men's hair. So I'm going to show you the items you'll need to start this. So a brush. I got one of these wet brushes. Haven't used it yet, but I'm excited to try it out. A crochet hook, because that's definitely needed because the locks I'm using are crochet locks. So a crochet hook. Some lock and braid foam control, so I use this at the end once I have all the locks in to kind of just set them in place. A rat tail comb to section off the hair and to comb out any knots or anything like that. Little clips just to section off the hair that you're not using, and it makes it so much easier trying to braid and all of that. I use the rubber band method, so rubber bands. I don't know why I just have one rubber band with me today, but it's all I could find right now. So rubber bands, these, and a lot of them. And I soak these in some oil like before putting them in his hair to kind of just not break off his hair so much. I know rubber bands aren't the best to use, but I used them anyway. And then this is the hair I used. I'll insert a picture over here, but this is the hair I use. It's 14 inches. They're just crochet locks. Yeah, versatile styling, pre-stretched, natural texture. And I really like the way these turned out. Scissors just to cut the packaging open and all that. And hair ties to section off hair again. So overall, the look took about 4.5 hours. I did stop for breaks here and there to eat, stuff like that. But I'd section off 4.5 to 5 hours, just so you'll have time if you're on a time crunch to get it all done. And if it's your first time doing the locks, I would section more time out, just because things can happen. With that being said, let's get into the video.
So this is how he came to me, with his hair stretched and moisturized, which starts out as a great base. So the first thing I want to say here is starting out with clean lines makes the whole hairstyle always look 100% better, so take your time with this step for sure. Starting out, I'm taking a section of hair a little less than an inch thick and wrapping the rubber band around the hair strand. Not too tight because I don't want to cause too much tension on the hair, but tight enough that it will stay. The next step is to just braid the hair all the way down to the ends. I didn't tie it off with a rubber band because his hair stayed perfectly fine without a rubber band. Now taking a crochet hook with the crochet lock, I start by pulling the crochet hook through his hair between the start of the rubber band and his head, and then pulling it back through and making a loop. So I take the crochet loop around the hair, if that makes sense, and I just pull it tight so it's snug up to his head. And then I'll start taking the crochet hook and pushing it through the crochet lock, which is like the fake piece of hair, and then I hook his natural hair and pull it through the lock. You can see here how I do that, and I just push it up to make sure it's close to his head so none of his natural hair is showing through. And I just do that all the way down. So I go a little bit further down on the crochet hook, keep pushing through, and this is kind of hard, but you just have to make sure your crochet hook is in the center of the crochet lock so that it doesn't fall out and his natural hair comes through the lock. Just making sure to check it as I go to make sure that all the hair is inside the lock. Starting once again, I will show this a little bit slower. So I'm going to start out by just brushing through the hair and making sure that everything is smooth and clean, and there's no knots in his hair to begin with. And then I'm going to take a rubber band that I've soaked in some oil so that it's a little less harsh on his head. And I'm just going to wrap that around his natural hair, keeping it tight. And this is just really important. I know that using, I guess not using rubber bands can kind of leave the hair frizzy towards the roots. So having the rubber bands in place really gives it that crisp, clean look that we all love. Moving on, I just started to slowly braid the hair nice and tight, just a 3-strand braid, which is super easy. And if there's anyone who doesn't know how to do just regular braids, I can definitely do a video showing that as well. Like I said before, I do not braid the hair like all the way down. I mean, I braid it about a centimeter away from like his longest piece of hair, just so I don't break off the ends while braiding it so tight and tiny. I then take the crochet hook and push it between the head and the rubber band and latch the crochet lock onto the hook, close the hook, and pull it back through. And there's a loop at the end of the crochet lock that I stick the long piece of the crochet lock through that, and then I pull tightly, which gives it a clean finish to the head so that it looks like it's coming right out of his scalp. And then again, taking the crochet hook and pushing it through the center of the lock, it really helps to make a seamless finish with his natural hair and the lock itself. As you can see here, you're just going to put the hair in the loop, close the little latch, and then pull down. It's a hard angle to see from here, but I did another shot showing a better angle for you guys. And then again, just moving a little farther down on the crochet lock and pushing up towards the spot where the natural hair ends, and then grabbing the hair again on the hook and pulling it down through. For his hair, I did about 3 pass-throughs with the crochet hook through his hair. This kind of all depends on how far you're going down at the crochet lock to move up into the hair. So you might do this in one try and you might do it in 5. So it all depends on how quick you are and how confident you are, I guess, as well, to get the hair all the way through the lock. Just doing a little touch up on this braid before. I think I end up completely redoing this braid at the end. Here's a closer shot. It's a little bit dark, but you can see how the lock just goes right through, and you open that hoop that's there and pull the crochet lock through that loop and pull it tight, and then taking the crochet hook again and pushing it through the center of the lock. You just kind of have to guide it with your fingers and kind of feel the center to make sure it's in there. Then again, putting his natural hair in the hook and pulling it through. At this point, I wanted to just speed it up to kind of just show you the sectioning and how I do it and how the braids lay on his head. I tried to stagger them a little bit. It all depends on the person's head shape for sure, but just like making sure that all the hair is inside of the lock and nothing is coming out of the lock. And at this point, I was tired of stopping and grabbing pieces of hair, so I decided to braid the entirety of his head with his natural hair and then just go through and put the locks in all at one time. I felt like this was so much faster, and I should have done this from the beginning. Here's the hair again, completely finished. There's nice clean rows, and everything looks pretty seamless, and I would say kind of natural. And then here I'm just putting that foam lock into his hair just all around. I just smoothed it around throughout all of his hair and then began to twist it in the direction that his locks were going just to seal them in place. We just styled the hair at the end and he was definitely feeling this look.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Comment something nice or any kind of other hair ideas you might want me to do. And subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.